Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for MATIC. I just wanted to go over my daily possibilities real quick just to show you. This is my primary count that we have an ABC to the upside. We have a 3, 3, 5 coming up in a flat pattern, and we'd expect 5 waves to the upside here. Reason being, this looks like 3 waves. This is a complex correction. We came to the 70% retracement of this previous A wave, which is our minimum requirement for a flat. So looking for 5 waves to the upside here. And this would complete a larger A, B, C. Now, I'm not going to explain what happens after the fact here, but there's a lot of options available after we make 3 waves. If I went into it at the moment, this would be a 40-minute video. So alternatively, this is my secondary count, is that we're making a triangle. A very long triangle since December of 2021, and this whole pattern would be a large ABC to the upside. We'd be expecting a move in 3 waves rather than a 5-wave impulse off the origination of MATIC. And my third count, but it's unlikely, is that we bottomed here. And this is a wave 1, 2, looking for our third of the third around 670. I think this is the least likely just because of the shape of this impulse up. Though technically valid, they don't really fit our guidelines well. We have our 1, 2, 3 running flat for our wave 4, which wasn't invalidated and an extended 5th wave. We came a little deep on the retracement, and for those reasons is why I believe this is the right count currently. But as soon as I break down to this boundary line, then I expect that triangle to be in play. But what's nice about these 2 counts, even though I don't think it's unlikely, is if this is a 1, 2 or an AB, our next move we expect is to the upside. And if it's the triangle, same, we expect upside, but just to get stopped out on this current trade setup. So going back to the 4-hour chart, if you've been following along my channel, you know we were expecting this move for quite some time to the downside. I did play one setup in it. I got stopped out. I was trying to get large position size on it, and now I'm in a second position looking for that move to the upside. And in the flat pattern, expecting those extensions up to the 1.618 of this retracement here in both the impulse and the C wave. So the most difficult part and suspect part of this is this area here. Is the low over here? Is it here? Is it here? Because it does not look impulsive. We came very deep. Or is it a truncation where this is our 5th wave here? Hard to say, right? It's very difficult. It's within like minuscules of a percentage in price. But anyways, starting the count from here, have this as a wave 1 and our wave 2 completing or completed, and looking for extensions to the upside. And this is a WXY currently as a flat pattern. As soon as we break this W low, then I would relabel this to a ABC as a expanded flat. Only difference being we expect 3 waves here in our Y or 5 in a C, and it would change the type to a expanded flat. And if I get stopped out in this trade, my stop is currently at this low at 73.80. I would simply look for a re-entry here from this pivot between the 50 and the 618. Right around this previous support here. All right, let's go down to the 15-minute. Whoa. Now I had this as a wave 1, and then we have it looks like a double ABC. C, B, C, C, We could still get another low down here in my setup, down between the 50 and the 618 before we take off here. If you watched my video yesterday, you know I was looking for this to become a flat. I said don't buy that breakout because we're going to get this move. And I got my entry here around the 1-to-1 extension. Sorry, it's not labeled on this chart. I'm using a different chart for my trade on my exchange. Just update this chart, which is Binance, that I'm using to chart from. And I was targeting the 1-to-1 extension off the top for my buy. Which is right there at 8393 according to Binance, and my stop was at this low at 73.80. So the question I have here is this correction complete? I do not think so. I think we need one more move to the downside, but we can also reject here as well. So looking for this today, just slightly lower low to protect this low in my current trade setup, that it needs a third wave for a C wave or the beginning of a impulse. Should happen very shortly. And alternatively, if this is the triangle I propose to you as my secondary count, I will obviously get stopped out here, but I would expect this to be a series of zigzags, so this can turn into pretty much any pattern. I would expect a little bit higher retracement, and then we get another 3 to the downside down to that triangle area you can see I have labeled here. That's our triangle line. And we'd have to protect our low at 49.24 for that scenario. But we'd be in the middle of a correction in a WXY, which would be a double zigzag here for our E wave in that larger term trend. So I would expect this to take a little more time. Again, I'm not sure what correction we would get here. We have to let these waves fill out to decide, but I'd want it to take a little more time to correct this previous wave. But yeah, this currently looks, if this is the top of our wave and this is all correction, this looks like a W wave, A, B, C, and then we'd have our X, 2, 3. This looks like A. Yeah, we could get one more down here, and this would all become a WXY, complex correction, and then potentially a zigzag or a flat here at the end, depending which one this is. Hard to tell on the micro level, so that's why I look for shape, right? As you know. This could also turn into an ending diagonal. There's a lot of options. The important thing to pay attention to in this area, rather than getting obsessed with every little wave here, is if this is complete as a WXY, which I propose it is, as our flat pattern, we must defend this low at 73.80, which is why I took that trade setup. If we get one more wave to the downside, then I would look for another entry to the upside and change this labeling to an ABC. Look for an entry somewhere here, breaking previous resistance, stop would go at this low. And say that happens and we come up in a corrective nature and break previous support, then we expect that E wave to the downside. Anyways, I'm going on and on. Check out my ICP video if you want. I can really go on a tangent on what can happen in these areas. But for the purposes of my trading, I'm counting this as a wave 1, very complex correction here. For our wave 2, expecting potentially one more wave down here to complete, and I want to see this low protected in my current trade setup. If we make another wave down, I will be looking for a long for 2 reasons. First reason is this could be considered a complete flat pattern if we get one more wave down, or if we make that triangle pattern, we would expect at least an ABC to the upside before making 5 more waves to the downside. And this would be a larger A, B, C for our E leg in that triangle. So I hope that makes sense. I'm paying attention to a lot of different things on this. But as of right now, playing my long, stop at this low. If we make another low, looking for a long. All right, guys, that's it for MATIC. Sorry for going on so long. I'm still trying to figure out how to make this educational as well as much information without overwhelming people. So any suggestions are helpful. Thanks for watching, guys.